Hey guys, it's Chris, and today this is my A600 with the Furia 3.1.4 ROMs. We're going to attempt to install the 3.2 ROMs with the Furia. And the Furia is known for being just a little bit picky with memory cards and ROM types. Now, prior to version 13.0 firmware from the developer, this would only run off of Workbench 3.1 ROMs. You saw my video maybe in the past about the ROMs upgrade, the upgrading of Furia hell that I went through just to get it to 3.1.4. So I have myself a 3.2 ROM for the 5, 6, and 2000. We're just going to plot that out in advance. Now there's a high probability that this will work with the ROM, but the Furia usually has problems with the SD cards after. Just in case, I got myself two Lexar 633X. These are V10s, Ultra DMA, 100 megasecond card. I don't know. We'll see. It's very picky. I've had good luck with Lexar in the past, so we're going to see what happens. The keyboard comes with it. And then just unplug this. My connector has since been, I put tape on the back. I'm like, why is this working now? Tape. Now, I am not removing my keyboard, so I'm just going to fold her on back. You can see we have a 3.1.4 ROM. I have a Vampire compact flash adapter. It's on an angle, and it takes a compact flash card. Now, I have poo-poo luck with cards. So this has a compact flash Chinesium Extreme Type 1 CF adapter UDMA. I have a Kingston in here now. This just takes an SD card. I've had very good luck with this, and we'll see how it goes. So I know this boots, and I'll even test it with the original setup first. So there we go. So as you can see here, I am a 3.14 ROM on Workbench 3.1.4.1. We know it's functional. Now let's first power this down and fold this back. We're going to use the Gennard IC extractor to remove the 3.1.4 ROM. Now take note, these are 40, and some of your sockets, depending on your version, may have 42 pins. So make sure you follow the arrows and always leave that first pin open if that is yours. And it is with mine. I'm going to put this in the IC pin straightener just to make sure our pins are in the correct bentness, and we're going to go one over. And this is what I'm talking about. You see that right here I have a pin open and I'm one pin back. With the pin straightener you can just shove her on in. So this is 3.2 ROM. Now I'm not expecting this to boot correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the SD card, and we're just going to turn it on. I am going to plug the keyboard back in to look for any estranged lights or craziness. If this works for the Amiga, it doesn't mean it's going to work for the Furia. So I also have an external Gotek that we'll be using for a 3.2 install since I don't have any CD and I'm not doing mount ISO. Powering on. Power light comes on. Floppy drive is seeking Amiga OS3.2 ROM. Wow, is that like the first one that's been successful? ROM-wise, no. Putting the card back in, this is my 3.1.4.1 install. If this even boots, it will complain about the icon library and Workbench library. By the way, I got the calculator fixed, so she is working fine. So here we go. Energizing. This is with my hard drive in. I'm going to double mouse button. I just want to see if it gives me the disk detection. So 4796, boot between Pal and Ntsc. This monitor will do both, so I can go into Pal mode, as you can see here, and then back to Ntsc like Jesus ran. So boot options, we do see my hard drive, which is a plus. A lot of times before I wouldn't see it. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but we're just going to say boot, and we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to zoom out here, and we're going to look for any funkiness. Hard drive is gurrowing. It is loading something. If this is compatible, we should get an icon library that's going to complain. And set patch is screwed up on this, I believe. My hard drive light just went solid, and my floppy drive is blinking. Now this is the same thing I had prior when I was doing the 3.1 to 3.14 update with the Furia. The Furia is a picky girl, and when I mean picky, nope, I mean picky. It's super picky. Mainly with memory cards, I would assume, ass of you and me, that since the 3.14 functions with the Furia, that 3.2 would. Maybe not. We don't know. I don't know if it's validating. I don't know what I'm listening for or what it's doing. So I think it's frozen. I'm getting no display. Alright. So instead of blowing mine up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to power this down. Is that back all the way? Yep. I'm going to remove this card out of its little crazy thing, and I'm going to put in a blank, I hope it's blank, Lexar blank. I really wish I had an SD adapter, not a compact flash. With that, I'm also going to hook up the external Gotek, and I have 3.2 on an external USB drive here. We will turn on. It's already on install 3.2. So here we are. We are booting off of the ADF, and I'm going to go ahead and take the backdrop off because I hate it. Now, we're just going to go in and check because I use this disk on a lot of installs. So under HD Tools, I need to verify it's just on scuzzy.device. So to do that, you just go to Icon, Information, and make sure your device name here is for stock, scuzzy.device. If you have a GVP, it would be GVP scuzzy.device. Expansion systems, EXP SCS, whatever. You know, Supra, or if you're rich, you would have cyberstorm.device. You know the drill. This is a, what kind of card is this? This will be a 32 gig card. So SCSI type unknown. So I'm going to do change drive type. We have a lot of SCSI SDs. We're going to do define new. Now here's a trick. Every time you define a new device, it writes it to the medium you booted from. In this case, the Gotek DF1 for me, but DF0 for you if you're on disk. Eventually you're going to run out of space. So if you don't want to save it, all you have to do is this. Put RAM : drive definitions and say read. Blah 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 blah, hit OK. 30 gig compact flash adapter. It'll save it in RAM and it won't save it on the disk. You would have to repeat that if you did it in the future, but that's fine. The benefit of 3.2 is it should adjust the max transfer rate for you automatically. So we're going to say OK, and then OK again. It takes a second. The Gotek is doing its thing. So here is our drive to be partitioned. So I'm going to do the right thing and just delete that partition and drag this one down to something small. You know, I'm even going to do really small, like really small. Like how about 500 meg, if that. We're going to name it DH0, and I'm going to go ahead and click Advanced Options here. I'm going to say Direct SCSI Transfer. Do I want to do that? Not at this time, because the Furia is just so compatible with everything. You know, I'm going to leave it as stockish as I can. So we're bootable. I'm leaving it stock 30 buffers, and we're going to just say, I'm going to say change on the file system because I want to see what, whoops, I'm going to say add update on the file system because I want to make sure it says 47.4. That's 3.2. 46.143 is of course Kickstart 3.1. 46.70 something like that, 4270, I forget, is 3141. But 47.4 is the new one. We're just going to say OK. And I'm going to say OK again. Now I only have one partition, DH0. The rest of this is going to be blank for maximum compatibility. If it even functions after a Workbench install, then we'll continue with adding another partition. So when we're completed, we're going to hit Save Changes to Drive. Change will go to Not Changed, and we should say Exit. Depending on the machine, some machines will ask me to reboot, some machines won't. Floppy drive is floppy driving. And here's an interesting thing. Check this out. Turn the light off. So as soon as I hit partition save, my floppy drive light in the middle here, can you turn? Why are you so tight? There we go. The bottom is my hard drive light, the middle is the floppy light, and the top is the power. My floppy disk light is acting like a power light. So I'm going to go ahead and do the right thing and just stick a disk in here and see if it... Okay. And it's doing something, but my hard drive light is solid. So that's the Furia's signature. I can hit save on this until the cows come home. Can I repartition the drive? No. So we're locked up. Nothing. Okay? Doesn't mean it's the end of the road. What it does mean is the Furia sucks and needs some more memory cards. I don't know. So I got a 32 gigabyte, 160 meg per second. This is a Lexar. Sorry my hands are like crusty. I painted some rust on my truck and it didn't come off too well. So I look like a zombie. My hands are washed. I gotta go buy some of that lava soap. It has pumice in it. I also have a Transcend 4 gig industrial grade. Brand new. This whole card out. And I'm gonna go with the Lexar. You know what? Maybe we should just go with the Transcend. It's small. Maybe it's something with big cards on the Furia. We'll stick to 4. So this is native 4 gigabyte Transcend card. I had the light off, so I'll just leave it off for now. Turning it back on. Floppy drive light is still doing something weird. Interesting. 3.2 is in the GoTech. GoTech is GoTechin'. Floppy drive is pulsing like a hard drive. I don't know what that is. Let's see what happens. Alright, here we go again. Change drive type. Let's delete this one. Let's delete this one. And define new. I could do RAM, but I'm just going to say OK. 4 gig. Perfect. It picks it up. Transcend. Native card. And say OK. Alright, partition drive. Delete it. I don't think it's going to work at all. Whatever. I'm just going to split it 50-50. And I'm just hitting OK. I'm not doing advanced. I'm just hitting OK. Don't care. Save changes to drive. Exit. There it is. Memory card. Alright, good. That's what I thought. Maybe. I don't know. Let's call this what am I doing? System. No trash can. Fast file system. International mode like Jesus would choose. And quick format. Because we are a CF, do you really wish to format? Yep. Let's see if it makes it past this point. Disk initialized. Now if you have a larger disk, secondary partition that's going to be greater than 4 gigs, you may have to increase the block size to accommodate formatting, or you'll get an insufficient RAM memory error when you're trying to mount the disk. Please note that if the disk does have an issue, the validation times will greatly increase depending on the size of gigabytes that you need. If you are using a 314 ROM installing 3.2, you will need the modules disk for the machine you are installing it on. And there are differences between the models. So I'm going to fast forward through this sucker and we're going to see if it works. Furia is still propping 2 megs of chip native and 8 megs of fast for the Amiga side. This will install 3.2 and also deploy several associated optionals. We're going to install 3.2 We're going to do intermediate like Jesus would choose. Faux real. Never understood the pretend to install. English like Jesus spoke. No printers. America, where Jesus lives. Do you want to install glow icons? I freaking hate glow icons, but I found out something really interesting. I'm going to go ahead and install glow icons. What's so interesting about that? I'm a Magic Workbench user. I love Magic Workbench. Some people hate it. It's a love-hate relationship. All of our Amigas are our own, and we customize them to our needs. Yours is most likely different than mine unless you're stock. There are no set third-party programs. It's not like you get a hodgepodge of a bunch of cool stuff in one. Hyperion still has yet to release a file manager besides Workbench GUI. Most of the time we install a bunch of third-party programs based on popularity. Directory Opus is one. I like Directory Works, but I still use Directory Opus for a file manager. Another one is Magic Workbench, a GUI replacement. Some of you use Classic Workbench. The problem with Classic and Magic Workbench is they use NICprefs. 3.2, they have changed the startup sequence to load things a little differently. They do some alias calls, and they remove the run nil colon and just type mounts. The problem with that is you're going to break some startup sequences. I've done a couple videos in the past having some issues with upgrades or having some issues with certain ROMs or the Amiga shit card that just red screening. I ended up burning ROMs. Everything's cool. So where are we at? I've narrowed it down to iPrefs, Magic Workbench, and NICprefs. So your mileage may vary. That's why you're going to have to play with it. You know? See what works, what don't. So I've found that, at least for me, and I can't confirm this because I'm the only person around the area I know with an Amiga, besides you guys, you'll let me know. If you are a Magic Workbench user, do you have any problems with 3.2 and were you able to upgrade without issue? Let a fellow know down in the old comments below. Now, we're going to go through all of this, and it doesn't mean it's going to work. So we don't need to watch this install. I'm actually going to cut it, and then we'll see. So hang on. Okay, weirdness is happening. So you're going to notice my floppy drive light is doing hard drivey stuff again. Now the middle light is floppy light. It's not doing it all the time because my disk is clicking. Hear it? Click, click. What happens is the disk stops clicking. And look at that. It like randomly, it's still clicking right now, but it's just randomly, see that delay? What the heck is going on? Now if I put a disk in, does it stop it? Okay. Just a little weirdness going on there. So we're still installing. I'll pause this and we'll come back when it's complete. Just want to let you know that. It sounds electric. That's my floppy disk in the middle. It's going nuts. Hard drive? Not so much. This is getting stranger. There's the hard drive going. Stranger and stranger. Okay. So the installation is complete. Take out your floppy disks and click proceed. So removing. GoTech is out. Floppy disk icon or LED is still freaking out. Now there's a high probability that this will not work. Like I said, the Furia is extremely picky, especially when a whole new entire operating system comes out. There could be some issues between SCSI.device, how it's emulated on the Furia itself for the IDE calls. Remember, it's a weird little thing, and it might require a firmware update for compatibility. If this even works, is solid, as is the disk drive. Oh, wait a minute. We have some weirdness. It may get further. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't understand the floppy drive. Alright. So we have 3.2 on an Amiga 600 Furia with the craziest light for your floppy disk in the world. It's randomly blinking like a hard drive, but it worked. 3.2, and I am a 3.2 ROM. 3.2 ROM. 3.2, 4796, 47.2, 2021 Hyperion. This looks like total ass, so I'm going to go into prefs, and I'm going to turn some of these backdrops off. Now I'm going to go into eye control here and tick off the two buttons, adjustable and can slide off the screen. So, 3.2 on a Furia. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Are you going to have some weirdness going on? You sure are. We're going to put the Furia Tune official software on here. I have no disk management, so I am going to put a utilities disk in my GoTech here. Which Amiga? Hello, let's do it. So which Amiga? We're at 3.1 megahertz. Well, that's not good. It does have a Boris Crimsia Furia ECO20 at 3 megahertz. Yeah, interesting. That's interesting. Used to say 600. 3 megahertz. Nice. Let me do some background stuff here and find directory works. Running install again and choosing to install the MMU libs and stuff. So, final verdict. Chinesium card with Rando, SD Lexar, another Lexar. I tried this 32 gig compact flash off camera, no dice. Don't want to bore you with extended videos. I have a Kingston 16 gig, works on 314. 64 gig on, doesn't work. 32 gig on, UDMA, 100 meg per second, doesn't work. 32 gig, 100, doesn't work. I think I said that. So, yeah, that's a pain in the butt. So we're going to put the libraries on. We're going to do the CPU libraries. Now, we're just going to say other. You figured they'd put Commodore in there, but they didn't. Is it causing any weird reverse circuit voltage that's causing this light to light up like a hard drive at random times? Possibly. I don't know. Alright, MMU libs is complete. Remove all your disks and reboot your Amiga. I'm going to hold, look at that floppy light. Hard drive and floppy, just, I don't get it. It's working. So we'll see. I don't know. So my verdict is, you have to have a card that's 4 gig or under for it to work. This Transcend industrial card, 4 gig, I got it for like $7 off of eBooger. Pick yourself up one. It's working. We're totally functional. We're going to run Furia Tune status to see what Furia Tune status. We have the FPU on, IDE speedup is off, and ROM mapping is inactive. You can map the ROM to the old Furia if you got yourself a lesser ROM. I've never had good luck with it. And if you run Furia Tune, oops, slash or hyphen question mark, it'll give you all the options that it allows you to do. So we're going to turn on the CPU cache. What was my cache is on. Okay, IDE is off. Drives, and we're going to go to DH0, and we're going to hit speed. Calculating the speed of the card. Never anything impressive on this, regardless. Floppy drive light is also freaking out, so we're at 652K. We're about, ooh, that sounded weird. We are about a little bit over half meg. So, we're going to quit. Whoops. And we're going to turn on Furia Tune IDE on. And then again, same test, right on into drives. Drives, DH0, 652 was our previous count. This is the Furia Tune's IDE speed up on. 688. So does it work? Yes. Is it really phenomenal increase in speed? Not at all. Final results. Do you even bother with it on? It is not saved. I have these guys from the previous videos. I'm at 8 megs, 314 ROMs, fix the issue that 3.1 reported that 3.0 had with the memory mapping. So I'm going to plug in a compact flash card here with 8 megs of RAM on the Furia. This should not work. Why? Number one is I forgot to put the drivers on. So when I got my Amiga 1200 a long time ago, I bought one of those adapters, and I have the drivers for it on floppy disco. So here we go, and we're going to leave it on 8 megs of RAM. Why? Because I know it won't work, but I just want to make sure that it's not working, and it's not that it's not available. Hyperion realized that there was the issue still with the 8 meg overlapping, so anything over 4 was overlapping into PCMCI memory space. It's some math that goes on in the background that most of us don't even worry about. It just works or doesn't. So we should be cool. We are loaded. Alright, we're going to grab my 512 meg card. Inserting. Just backing it out here so you can see what's going on. This should not work. Alright, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. What do? On the Furia, you can hold Control left, Amiga right, Amiga down for like 3 seconds. That's probably longer than 3 seconds. I was waiting for the light to go bip. Sometimes it does that. And now you will reboot into a 4 meg mode. So you can then have 4 megs of RAM with PCMCIA support. Alright, so here we go. 512 megs. You'll notice I'm in a 4. Can you see that? I apologize greatly. I am in a, oh come on you turd. 4 megs, 4.7. I think it throws some Ranger RAM in there, and 1.9 megs of chip. And here is all my compact flash junk. Let's put the 4 gig. Commodore, and I remember this at the time, Commodore did not use, there wasn't a standard for PCMCIA, so Commodore kind of just said, well, we're going to make our own. And it wasn't compatible with everything. It was close, but not a lot. When the 1200 came out, they kind of fixed it a little better. That's why your 600 and 1200 don't play well with PCMCIA. This card works perfect on my 1200. It probably won't work perfect on here. Maybe 3.2 fixes that. Hell yeah, brother. Awesome. There's my installers. LHA. We're working. Great. This did not work before. You've seen my previous videos. Great. You want to fix your PCMCIA? Install 3.2. Buy a Furia. Pull your hair out. Go bald. Get fat like me. You'll be good to go. The only weird thing I have is this floppy light acting like a hard drive. But it's not the hard drive because I can click on something on the hard drive and bam. Do you recall that I only made a 2 gig partition? I have another 2 gigs to go. DH1. Enter. Okay. It'll yell. Alright, so here we go. DH1 uninitialized. Format disk. We're going to say Control X. Work. No trash can. Fast file system. International mode like Jesus. Sure? Yes. You sure? Yes. Initializing. This is where the 8 megs of RAM would come in handy if you had a larger block size. And there we go. I don't like that icon. So there you go. That is Amiga OS 3.2 Furia A600 running 3.2 with a 3.2 ROM. Incredible. How many memory cards did it take? 2, 3, 4. Well, not that one. 5, 6, 7 memory cards. So if you're having problems with your Furia on your A600, you can't get 3.2 to install, let a brother know. Are you doing some ROM mapping, or are you just doing what I did? Floppy install off of GoTech. Furia tune after the fact. PCMCIA. Working. Can't beat it. That is incredible to me. I have not had this much good luck since my friend saw Monica Lewinsky driving down Interstate 70 in Maryland. That's the truth. Anywho, thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you. And as always, I hope you learned something.